really think we can overcome? Of course I do. The British Empire was once the largest empire on this planet during slavery. But guess what? Before they became great, they were the slaves of the Germans. The Germans despised the British so much that they said they didn't even make a good slave. So if they can come from nothing and get to where they are, why can't Africa do the same thing? I want you to understand something that I believe. I believe that this planet will never operate on freedom, justice, and equality until African people are returned to our former greatness. I believe that with all my heart. There's no other race that can manage this planet in freedom, justice, and equality except us. So until Africa gets its act together, the whole world will never get its act together. And stop thinking we can't make it without the brown people, and the yellow people, and the white people, and the red people. Yes, the black people can make it without them. Don't you know we was on this planet by ourselves? A million years before any other race evolved from us. If we never leave Africa, you never get a Chinese. If we never leave Africa, you never get a Caucasian. If we never leave Africa, you never get an Arab. If we don't leave Africa, you don't get an East Indian, you don't get a Native American, you don't get a Mexican. We're the mother and father of everybody, and we were on this planet before any of them evolved. So then why do we feel like we need them in order to make something of ourselves? More than the economic devastation of Africa, more than the political challenges of Africa, we have a psychological challenge of African people. And when I say Africa, I'm speaking of the whole diaspora because I'm a Pan-Africanist. Our problem is we don't believe we can overcome European imperialism. We don't believe we can overcome Chinese imperialism. Your job is to do just that, overcome it. Or do you want your grandkids living under imperialism of other races? Do you want your grandchildren living under imperialism of other races? The choice is ours. We got 2 eyeballs just like the white man. We got 2 ears just like the Chinese. We got 2 legs and 2 arms just like the European Jew. You get the same 24 hours a day that everybody else got, so stop with the excuses. We either going to get the job done or we're not. And God isn't coming down to help you until you help yourself. Because everything we need to solve our problems as African people, we already got it. God already gave you that when he put you on earth. So you don't need no extra help, no divine intervention. What you need is each other. Unity is the solution for African people. Global unity. African nations struggling economically. Black America, we $2 trillion. The Caribbean islands is about $1 trillion. Black Europe is about $2 trillion. Look at all this money in the diaspora. But we got African nations back in China, in America, in the World Bank, in the International Monetary Fund for a loan when you got black family all over the planet. Tap into your relatives. You know, back home in America, there's an issue going on right now. Your African American brothers and sisters, they at odds with African immigrants. They call it diaspora wars. And they go back and forth attacking each other, name calling, you ain't real, you was a slave, you was colonized. And I look at these ridiculous fools. When a white man sees us, he sees an African. He don't put you into groups. When the police stop us, they stop a black person, they take your life in America. They don't care if you came from Africa or whether you was a descendant of an enslaved American. They don't care. But we love to fight over petty differences, and we're the only race who can't stop the pettiness long enough to solve our major problems. You think all Arabs get along? No, they don't. Iraqis don't particularly like Afghanis. Kuwaitis don't particularly like Iraqis. Iranians may think they're better than the other Arab families, but guess what? When it's time to solve Arab problems, that Arab League will call a ceasefire, a truce, let's get together. White people don't all get along. I know because I work with them. Some Italians can't stand Jews. Some Jews can't stand Irish. Some Irish can't stand Greeks. Some Greeks can't stand Anglo-Saxons. But when it comes to white supremacy, raping Africa and dominating the resources, they call a ceasefire. Let's handle racism, and then we get back to fighting. We're the only race who can't do that.